Hi, I'm Michael, and in this video I will teach you how to use the dimensioning command in 2D AutoCAD and how to change the settings to standard. First, you have to change your settings to standard, which you go under the annotate toolbar, and then over here by dimensioning you click this down arrow and this little box pops up. When it does, you click the modify button to modify the standards, and then standard calls for most drawings to go to 2 decimal places. That is pretty much the only thing that you have to change, because everything is by layer and you should already have that changed when you are drawing something. Now let's draw a little box, and I will show you some very brief ways to dimension. Now we have our box and our standards are up to par. We can now dimension. Now you want to select your dimensioning layer, which over here you have it under the phantom lines, and it is yellow. That is one of the main things that it calls for. Now to dimension our little box we have here, we have to go to annotate, dimension, and you can, on the dimension pull down bar, we have our diameter, which is for circles, radius circles, arcs, angles, which is what this is obviously, and then all that good stuff. Now to dimension this line right here, we want to click the linear dimension, and to dimension this line we have to click the endpoints to get precise dimensions. Now this is another key thing for standard, is to make sure that your dimension is 1/4 inch away from your part. And now we will dimension this little tangency we have here with a radius. And all you have to do is click on that. Make sure again it's 1/4 inch roughly away, and it's pointing towards the center of your circle. And now we will dimension this angular surface right here. You click this line right here, click the 2 lines of the angle that you want, and it'll just pop up. And for these, you don't necessarily, there's no real good way to judge how a 1/4 inch, so just eye up about the same distance from there, like your finger, and there to there. And now we will dimension a angled surface, which you cannot dimension this angled surface with a linear line like we did before. You have to use this angled. And again, you click the 2 ends and 1/4 inch away. And now you got another key thing when dimensioning is to not get all these messed up with each other. Like if you move this one to the other side like that, it'll just confuse your reader, and they will not be able to successfully read your dimension. Like that is very confusing. You would not be able to read it very well, very accurately, and you wouldn't be able to make that part, because one of the main things in dimensioning is to make sure that you do not confuse your reader. Your dimensions are clearly stated, and you don't have to reiterate what you're saying. Now, another thing when dimensioning, we'll do this angled surface right here. Now you click the two lines like we've done before, 1/4 inch away again, and you're good there. And then you go to linear to do your vertical surface, 1/4 inch away as well. Now to do a dimension from this circle to your endpoint here, you cannot just go to this line and measure from there to there. You have to dimension with your linear dimension from this corner all the way to the center of your circle, and then that'll stop any confusion from, is it really to the end of that circle or is it just that line? You don't know. So you do that, and it is okay for this yellow line to be going across the red one, your object line. And that is one of the main reasons why it is a different line type, the phantom line, and why it is yellow. And pretty much, you don't, another thing is, you don't want to have any measurements that don't need to be there. If you have any measurements that don't need to be there, it is against the rules, as my teacher said, against the law, my professor said, and it is against, you cannot have it. I don't know, it's just the way it is. And another thing when you're dimensioning, like I just did right here, this is a infraction as well. You need to make sure that you know where the center of the circle is, so that there is no confusion for what you're doing. Now, let's do another part here right quick. Go back to home and draw, we'll draw like a line through the middle. Now, when drawing, you cannot draw your object lines with this phantom yellow colored line. It has to be an object, a red object line. Now, if you do that, again, it's against standards, and people will be like, wow, why do you have a line through the middle that doesn't connect to anything? Now, you go back to your yellow lines, and then you go to annotate, dimension linear, and then you dimension there. Oh, now what do? You have a yellow line crossing a yellow line. You do not want to do that. When you do that, it causes confusion when you have a lot of lines together. So what you usually do, you bring it down, bring the shorter line down, pull your longer line up like so, and then shorter line up, 1/4 inch from the shorter one, and then another 1/4 inch for your longer one. See, 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, give or take. It's not you don't have to be 100% specific on exact 1/4 inch, but it's nice to be able to read what you're doing. After that, pretty much you just make sure everything is readable. You know what you're doing. You should be able to do this fairly easily. And if you have any questions on this dimensioning refer to the memo, and my information will be on there. Thank you for watching.